What if I told you some places are listening to every word we say? These are America's most terrifying haunted places where people claim the nightmares never end. Watch until the end if you're watching alone. The Amityville House, America's most terrifying haunted house. On a cold December night in 1975, the Lutz family unlocked the front door of their dream home. The house stood at 112 Ocean Avenue in Amityville, New York. It was beautiful, spacious, and surprisingly affordable. To them, it looked like the perfect place to start a new life. But the house was hiding a horrifying secret. Just 1 year earlier, 6 members of the DeFeo family had been murdered inside while they slept. The Lutz family knew about the tragedy, but believed nightmare had ended forever. They were wrong. On the very first night, George felt an unnatural cold, even with every fireplace burning. Kathy began waking at exactly 3:15 every morning. It was the same time investigators believed the murders had taken place. Then the strange events began. Heavy footsteps echoed through empty hallways. Doors slammed shut without anyone touching them. Whispers came from rooms that were completely empty. Strange odors suddenly filled the house. Then swarms of flies appeared in the middle of winter. One night, Kathy claimed she saw her children floating above their beds. Their youngest daughter said she had made a new friend. She called the mysterious figure Jody. According to her, it had glowing red eyes. Sometimes, it appeared as a giant pig staring through her bedroom window. George slowly began to change. He became obsessed with chopping firewood for hours in the freezing cold. His anger grew stronger every day. His fear became impossible to ignore. He believed something inside the house wanted his family dead. After only 28 days, the family fled in terror. They left behind almost everything they owned. They never returned. Even today, the Amityville House remains one of America's most famous haunted house stories. Some believe it was an elaborate hoax. Others believe something evil still lingers inside those walls. And one question has never been answered. If it was just an ordinary house, why did they leave everything behind? Eastern State Penitentiary. In Philadelphia stands a prison that many refuse to enter after dark. Not because of its crumbling walls, but because of what people claim still lives inside them. Eastern State Penitentiary opened in 1829. It was designed to break the human mind. Prisoners spent nearly every hour alone. They ate alone, worked alone, and slept alone. Many wore hoods whenever they left their cells. They were forbidden from seeing another human face. Years of complete isolation drove some inmates insane. Some screamed through the night. Others stopped speaking forever. Many died within those walls. After the prison closed in 1971, the stories only became darker. Guards reported hearing footsteps in empty cell blocks. Visitors claimed shadow figures watched them from abandoned corridors. Some heard voices whispering their names. Others felt invisible hands touching their shoulders. Cell block 12 became infamous for echoing laughter when no one was there. Cell block 6 was known for dark figures moving silently through the halls. The old death row was said to carry an overwhelming feeling of dread. Even experienced paranormal investigators admitted they couldn't explain everything they witnessed. Today, thousands visit the abandoned prison every year. Some leave with nothing but photographs. Others leave convinced they were not alone. If the prison is truly empty, who is still walking its halls after nearly 2 centuries? The Stanley Hotel, deep within the Rocky Mountains of Colorado, stands a hotel surrounded by breathtaking scenery. From the outside, it looks peaceful, elegant, historic, the kind of place where families come to relax. But after sunset, many visitors believe it becomes something entirely different. The Stanley Hotel first opened its doors in 1909. It quickly became one of the most luxurious hotels in the United States. Wealthy travelers from across the country came to enjoy the mountain air and quiet atmosphere. For years, everything seemed normal. Then the stories began. Guests reported hearing footsteps echoing through empty hallways late at night. When they opened their doors, no one was there. Others claimed they heard children laughing and running through the corridors. Yet security cameras showed the hallways completely empty. Some visitors woke in the middle of the night after feeling someone sit on the edge of their bed. When they turned on the lights, the room was empty. Several guests reported waking to find their suitcases mysteriously unpacked, clothes carefully folded, shoes lined up neatly, even though no one had entered the room. One of the hotel's grand pianos became the center of countless reports. People claimed they heard music drifting through the ballroom long after midnight. When staff investigated, they found the room completely empty. Room 217 soon became the hotel's most famous room. Guests described lights turning on and off without explanation, bathroom doors opening by themselves, furniture appearing to move during the night. Some even claimed they saw the figure of a woman silently standing beside the bed before disappearing into darkness. Employees working the night shift shared stories of hearing voices coming from empty guest rooms. Some reported doors locking by themselves. Others refused to enter certain parts of the hotel after midnight. Some guests claimed they woke to the sound of children playing outside their room. They opened the door, only to find an empty hallway. Others reported hearing soft knocking on their doors. 3 slow knocks, always after midnight. When they looked through the peephole, no one was standing outside. Several visitors said the elevator stopped on empty floors for no apparent reason. The doors would slowly open, revealing nothing except silent, dimly lit corridors. Some refused to step outside, others did, and later claimed that they heard footsteps following them back to their rooms. Housekeepers have shared stories of objects changing position moments after being cleaned, pictures hanging crooked, chairs moved across the room, lights switched on in rooms that had already been locked for the night. Many visitors described an overwhelming feeling of being watched, not for a few seconds, but for hours. Some claimed they could never shake the feeling that someone was standing just behind them, watching, waiting. Even those who dismissed ghost stories admitted the hotel had an atmosphere unlike anywhere they had ever visited. A silence that felt unnaturally heavy. A feeling that the building itself was listening. In the 1970s, author Stephen King spent one night at the Stanley Hotel. The experience inspired him to write one of the most famous horror novels ever created, The Shining. After the novel became a global success, the hotel attracted thousands of curious visitors. Some arrived hoping to witness something paranormal. Others came only because of the legend. Year after year, the reports continued. Different people, different backgrounds, different countries, yet many described remarkably similar experiences without ever knowing each other. Paranormal investigators have spent countless nights recording sounds, taking photographs, and searching for evidence. Some captured strange voices on audio recordings, others photographed unexplained shadows. None of it has been universally accepted as proof, but none of it has stopped the stories from growing. Skeptics believe every report has a logical explanation. Old buildings make strange noises. Wood expands and contracts. Wind moves old doors. Memory can be unreliable. And fear has a way of turning ordinary moments into terrifying ones. But believers continue to ask the same question. Why do so many people tell nearly identical stories, even when they know nothing about the hotel's history? Today, the Stanley Hotel remains open to the public. Guests still sleep in room 217. They still walk the same hallways. They still hear the same stories before going to bed. Most leave with nothing more than memories. Some leave convinced they experienced something they cannot explain. And a few refused to talk about what had happened that night. The Stanley Hotel is still waiting. Its doors are still open. Its lights still shine across the mountains. The only question is, if you checked in tonight, would you be certain you were sleeping alone? The Winchester Mystery House. In the heart of San Jose, California, stands a mansion unlike any other. A house with more than 160 rooms, staircases that lead into ceilings, doors that open to solid walls, windows built inside the house itself. Nothing about it makes sense. Its owner was Sarah Winchester, the widow of the heir to the Winchester rifle fortune. After losing her husband and infant daughter, she was consumed by grief. According to legend, a spiritual medium gave her a terrifying warning. The spirits of everyone killed by Winchester rifles were hunting her. There was only one way to stay alive: never stop building. For the next 38 years, construction continued day and night. Workers built new rooms without blueprints. Hallways twisted into dead ends. Secret passages appeared behind walls. New staircases were added for no reason. Whenever a section was finished, another one began. Sarah reportedly believed the constant construction would confuse the spirits and prevent them from finding her. Visitors claimed they heard whispers in empty corridors. Others reported footsteps when no one else was inside. Some said doors opened on their own. After Sarah died in 1922, the endless construction stopped immediately. The mansion remains exactly as she left it, a maze of impossible